Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our Friday morning Course in Miracles party. And we've been doing this for how many years now? Does anybody know? 4? At least 3. Yeah, so it's so awesome, and it keeps getting better and better. Welcome all live streamers. Thanks for being here. My name is Linda Leland with theteachersofgod.org. Lisa Natoli will be teaching today, and she's not here because someone, I'm not going to mention any names, left with her keys. Bill free. No, just kidding. So she will be, yep. So she will be along, and her topic is healing from the addiction of finding fault in others. So none of us have any of that. So we are a nonprofit foundation based on the teachings of A Course in Miracles. We help and to support and inspire people through the transformation from fear to love. And we have all sorts of online programs to help out with that. We have the 40-day program, which is free. It's a great introduction to working with the principles of love and holding yourself there for 40 days. See what happens. It's going to be good, though. I promise you that. We have True Prosperity. It's an advanced course in unlimited abundance. We have Living in Purpose, which is a mastery course for living the principles of A Course in Miracles for 6 months. And Living in Purpose also includes our ACIM 365 course, which is completing the workbooks lessons of A Course in Miracles with Lisa Natoli. So we also have a new little video on our website. I don't know if any of you have seen it yet, which I love. Lisa did a short little 7-minute video on what is A Course in Miracles. You know, we sort of talked about, if a waitress sat down at your table and said, what is A Course in Miracles? And why do you love it so much? Like, what would we all say? I know I've been like, it's 1,200 pages of, so it's just a really good, yeah, exactly. Your ticket out of hell. And so it's just a really good way to explain it to people who might want to know what you're up to. Or if anybody out there is really curious about it, it's a great little video. So I highly recommend it. What else? Oh, tonight, we're heading to the Natural Living Expo at the Marlboro Trade Center in Marlboro, Mass. I don't know if any of you have ever been there, but it's the largest natural living expo in the country. It is huge. There are hundreds. I think there are over 1,000 exhibitors. I mean, the numbers, the booth numbers go up over 1,000, and it's everything you ever want. Every kind of healer, herbalist, food product, natural oils, artist, medical healers, dental. I mean, you name it, it's there. Jewelry, because we know how healing jewelry can be. Right? A little retail therapy. No, but it's a lot of it's just a fun. I mean, you could spend 2 days there. So I think it's like $15 to get in, and that covers you for both days. But 1 day is sufficient. The food they have, the vendors are so great. They have cooking demonstrations, and all day long, every hour, there's a new workshop. And I believe, it's hard to tell, but it looks as though the keynote speaker is A Course in Miracles teacher. So we've got a great booth. I don't remember her name. We've got a great booth there, really clearly displaying the attributes of living in fear, doubt and guilt and worry and depression, and then clearly stating the attributes of what it's like to live in love, just joy and peace and abundance, and asking people to hold themselves there for 40 days and register for the 40-day program and see what it's all about. So we have this really cool booth design. So please come and see us. I'll be there, Lisa, Bill, and Al. So we'll be working the booth for 2 days, and I'm so excited. And Arthur might come. Oh, my God. Anybody else want to come? We'll put you to work. No. You going to come? Oh, awesome. Yeah, great. Excellent. Thank you. It takes a village. It's like, because you get so excited about I've worked the booth for other companies that I've worked for, And you get so excited about what you do that you're just talking and talking and talking to everyone for hours, and it's good when you have some help. What else? Bill, are there any more tickets to the conference in February? We have 7 tickets left. If anyone's interested in joining us in the Course in Miracles convention. What? Oh, 7 tickets left at $499, which is a big discount. It's the February 18th. I believe it's that weekend in San Francisco. And I don't know if you've ever been to a Course in Miracles conference, but it's like hundreds of people on the same path as you. Great speakers. We eat meals together. We drink coffee. We go out. Going to be little excursions to Alcatraz or all these different things if you want to, right? Good thing to do after you get out of a Course in Miracles group. Yeah. Speaking of freedom. Yeah. So have I covered everything, Bill? Is there anything else? So the radio shows every Friday. 12 o'clock and 3 o'clock for Pure Presence for Bill's at noon with Rupert Spira every Friday at noon, Bill's radio show on unityradio.com, and Lisa's is at 3. And the topics are always changing, so good thing to listen to. Even I think they're recorded, so you can listen to them later while you're going for a walk or trying to fall asleep. That's what I do. Okay, so this is the time when we usually greet each other, and we do so a little bit differently. We, instead of just saying, hey, how are you? Good, how are you? We really take a second to pause and see the highest in the person in front of you. See the light in them, and let the light in you greet the light in them, and maybe a hug or a handshake. And we use the word namaste or I love you like crazy. Okay. Stop extending love everywhere. Okay. Enough with the love here. Hone it. Okay, so every Friday since Lisa and Bill came back from California and Cafe Gratitude, which sounds like a really cool place, they brought this book back, and we choose a person, or person chooses themselves to read from it. So Jen, do you want to come up and read from the Catholic Gratitude. Do you want to hold this or do you want me to do it?
I should be able to manage.
Yeah.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'm going to give a shout out to my totally fabulous prayer partner who went to, I believe, Lake Erie this morning to have a beautiful connection with God and saw 6 deer running around. So I hope that was beautiful, and I look forward to talking with you soon. And today is, there is no need to run outside for better seeing, nor to peer from a window. Rather abide at the center of your being, for the more you leave it, the less you learn. Leo Lao Tzu. Oh, sure. There is no need to run outside for better seeing, nor to peer from a window. Rather abide at the center of your being, for the more you leave it, the less you learn. I do have a question down here, which is, where in your life are you trying to force an outcome? Get somewhere, manipulate, or manage the circumstance? Whoa. We're just going to talk about that for an hour and a half. Okay. So God bless.
Great, huh? Doesn't apply to anyone in here, though. Nah. Okay, so Lisa, as I said, is running a little bit behind, but she's on her way, thanks to Al, this little mighty little convertible chauffeur going to get her. So before she gets here, I believe Bill is going to lead us in a meditation. So we're going to hang on and wait for him. Bill, are you ready? Here he comes. Mr. Key Stealer, Love Man himself.
Thank you. Thank you. Can we get a mic test on that other mic real quick, Arthur? Just before we get started, I turned the volume on it down. Can you?
Test. Test.
Coming through. Yeah. Is it loud? A little bit loud. I just want to turn it down for the live stream. Okay. Well, I'm just going to invite everyone to come on a little journey with me to the place to our home, really our home of presence, pure presence. And if you would feel comfortable to just get comfortable in your seat and relax and close your eyes if you're comfortable with that. And I just, as we come into this place, this is the quiet place that we all have available. Let me be still and listen to the truth. And the listening doesn't actually happen with the body's ears. It's let me be still because I am the truth. And it's in the stillness that we notice this experience of being. It's in the quiet that we hear God's word. And God's word is this amazing sound of quiet. Quiet presence. And in this place of quiet presence, we're just sitting in and as awareness. So I'm inviting everyone here and everyone live streaming to just set aside the thoughts for a moment. You can pick them back up when we're finished. If you want to, they'll come. But right now, just tell them just to be still and just be in this state of peace and being. And in this state of peace and being, This is our home. This is our natural state. This is our state of our essential self. Right here. And if you just take a couple of deep breaths and just for a moment, just have a breath awareness. Just be aware of your breath. So take a deep breath in through your nose. Nice deep breath, and then gently out. Another time. In through the nose. Gently out through the mouth or nose. And just in this place of quiet presence, we are aware. We are aware of our thoughts, of the body sensations. Maybe there's parts of the body that are sore this morning, or maybe there's parts of the body that have some sensation of some sort. And just notice that. Just notice the sensation. And in this state of awareness of the sensations, we know that we are the self. We are this self-aware presence that is aware of all the objects in time and space, all the many names of things that we have been told or that we've learned. So for right now, we're just going to allow ourselves to be aware of just the presence. In the quiet. Is the being. We're not looking for anything in this place, and as we abide in the quiet place, you'll notice that the mind keeps wanting to come in with a thought, keeps wanting to come in with, oh, I forgot that, or oh, I remember this. And that's okay. Those are just rising thoughts, rising, experiences where the mind wants to come in, and it's used to being in charge. It's used to running the show, and the monkey mind that is always so busy. So the practice here is just to be aware of that. Like a passing cloud, just let it pass. And what's really awesome about coming into this place of presence is that this is our natural state of being, this place of presence. And if we have anything that's been troubling us, we have the light turned on right now just by acknowledging that we are the light, that we are creations of God, and we are not different or separate from God, because we are what God is. And in this place of presence, and where the acknowledgement of ourself is known, right here. Now, if anything that's been troubling you, any kind of decisions that are necessary to make, any fear, any worry, anything that's troubling you at all, just notice it. Did you have an argument with someone recently, or do you have a health issue that you're noticing? Do you have judgments about yourself or others? You think you're getting old, and what does that mean? Do you have fears about that? Do you have relationship issues? Anything at all. Just notice the thought and stay in the presence. Because you don't have to fix it. You don't need to do anything. Just bring it into the light. Because this is what you are. And we let all things be resolved perfectly in the light. And what we are, nothing real can be threatened. That is this state of pure awareness. Nothing unreal exists. That's all of these thoughts, all of these beliefs, all of the experiences that would pull us from the experience of the peace of God. And in this understanding, herein lies the peace of God. And this is you. You are peace. You are presence. And as we're abiding in this experience of noticing, we are the eternal presence and being that is always here. It's always in the background, just waiting to be acknowledged. This is the Son whom God created as itself. This is you. And for that we say thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, God. Amen. It's normally, if you know me, I'll go I'll either be in this like total state of feeling like I'm high, which is true, but 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 also, if you noticed, by ending the meditation and staying in quiet, the presence is still present, and that is an important part of the meditation. Is acknowledging that you are the meditation, that you are in the natural state. The closest we come to experiencing ourself, what we are, is in quiet. That is why all of those workbook lessons say, I will be still and listen to the truth. In quiet, I receive God's word today. And all through the course, this is why he suggests to us to begin our morning, 15 minutes in the morning, of that quiet time. It's not so that we go and accomplish something in meditation. It's so that we abide in and as the meditation. We abide in what we are, in that quiet place. And it comes from the experience of, it's so simple that we mostly don't see it. It's so simple when we say, what is it that is aware of this experience? There's an awareness for everyone in here right now. What is it that is aware of the experience of the senses? What is it that is aware of thoughts? When you contemplate that one question, the answer is the same for every being. No one had a different answer than every one of us. What is it that is aware of this experience? Is the common state of our essential self. And that I is always running in the background. It's always running. It's never off. It can't be. In fact, that is the eternal self that never was born and it never dies. And that is the truth of what we are. And the only thing that overlays on top of that is a belief that we're this, that we're the person with problems, with identity, and all of those other I am statements. I am sad, bam. You know that, didn't you love that old show, Aladdin, where he went to the cave and he got the lamp, Aladdin's lamp, and he would rub the lamp. I loved that show as a kid. I think I still love it. I loved that show. I loved Superman. I loved his X-ray vision. But Aladdin's lamp reminds me of our ability in time as people, where we think we're people. We actually have Aladdin's lamp, and we don't realize it. Everything we touch is Aladdin's lamp. I am sad. I am happy. I am this. I am that. We have the laws of the universe at our disposal, and because most of our thoughts are buried in the vault, are in the background, we can't see that everything that we attach I to, and so it is being manifested. Everything. Ask and you shall receive is a law. It's a law that occurs even in the dream. Ask and you shall receive. Happens right here. You get everything you ask for, and you just don't realize that I'm asking for all of this. And it happens as a vibration, a frequency in time and space. If we get upset with someone, and we say, "Oh, why did she do that to me?" Or "Why did you do that to me?" Or "That happened to me." Or "I feel this," or "I feel that." You did this to me. Why did you do this to me? Why did I do this to me? Every one of those thoughts has a feeling, has a frequency attached to it. And what we're doing as the I, that is the very presence of God self, God in that seems to be in this body, is sending a signal out to the universe and saying, I want more of this. Give me more of this. So whatever you put your I in front of, whatever you're asking for, if you think you're a victim, and so it is. If you think that you're angry, and so it is. If you think that you're upset, or you should have done, you're guilty for this, or you're guilty for that, or he's guilty, or she's guilty, any of those statements, any of those feelings are vibrations that the universe, just like the genie, is going to say, and so it is. You can have that, Aladdin. Bam. Oh, I didn't want that. And if you don't clean it up, and that's why the course is so amazing, and the practice of forgiveness is so important, and also the Byron Katie work is so amazing, is because it's all talking about forgiveness. It's all talking about disconnecting that frequency, or disconnecting that belief that keeps calling in those experiences that you're asking for. Because until you disconnect the belief in it, it's going to keep recurring and recurring and recurring and recurring in every part of your life. And it doesn't matter if it's with your relationships, or your health, or worries that you have in life, or finances. It doesn't matter what it is. It's like that relationship that you left, and now you got the same thing going on in this one, and you're going, wow, why is this one screwed up too? Well, the common thing went with you. The common denominator is you, and you went with you to the next relationship and brought that stuff with you. Yeah. Yes. Yes. And that's true with that's why pausing, notice what you're noticing, notice the little upsets. That's why all of these little annoyances, they're important. They're really important. I never realized how the little tiny little upsets that I hold on to are like, and Byron Katie talked about this, it's like having a grain of sand in your shoe, and the grain of sand is there for a long time, and then something gets on top of that, and it festers, and it just stays there, that little grain of sand, that little bitty thing. And I'll give you, did Lisa talk last week about this bathroom scale thing at Byron Katie? Oh, okay, so she didn't. So I'm going to talk about it. When we were at Byron Katie, there was some amazing, I mean, that 9 day, I didn't think, how could someone possibly have enough content, enough things to say to fill up 9 days? And every single day was a total surprise. Every day was a surprise. And this one day, we were asked to find something that we have, some kind of a little thing with our roommate. So most of the people at the event had roommates, males and females, males and males, females and females, and couples. There were probably half a dozen couples at the event. And you needed to find out find something that you have that's just a little annoyance or maybe a big annoyance with your roommate and do a judge your neighbor worksheet on it. And Lisa and I were roommates, so we did a judge your neighbor worksheet on it. And at first I'm going, everything's cool. I can't think of a thing. And Lisa said she had the same experience. Everything was cool. She couldn't think of a thing. So she used an incident that happened before we left to go. She used an incident that happened at home. Little thing. It had to do with the dishwasher and something that I did that annoyed her and she did that annoyed me. So she brought up her dishwasher thing, and I couldn't think of a thing except that I was going, well, wait a minute. In the bathroom, I moved the bathroom scale in the hotel. I moved it, used it that morning, and and it was kind of under the pedestal sink. You had to reach down and get it and pull it out and use it and to be able to operate it. And I left it out so she could use it because we've been weighing ourselves a lot, just like every day, just weighing just to see what's happening with the weight. And it's really quite amazing. When you don't eat a lot, your pounds can go down fast. I watch myself lose like 4 or 5 pounds in a day. And we've both been like losing weight, so we want to make sure that we're eating enough and not losing too much weight. We're not doing anything special. But what happened was I left that scale out so she could use it. And then I also wanted to be able to just leave it there so I didn't have to bend down anymore to pull it out. And she put it back. She put it back where I had it. I'm going, damn it, why does she put stuff back where I took it out so that was just a little thing, little annoyance, little grain of sand or a little pebble that I left out, that unfinished business. It's just a little thing, no big deal. And this other thing that she wanted to do in the room was I didn't want to do it. She went into the room and wanted to have the hotel come and empty all the stuff out of the fridge. All that stuff that you can buy that's like real expensive, and alcohol and candy bars and all that stuff. And we don't eat any of that stuff, but we wanted to use the refrigerator. So she wanted to use to empty the fridge. And I'm going, oh man, I'm not going to call the hotel and ask them to empty that fridge out. So that was just a little annoyance. Those two things were a little annoyance. And those two things are what I used for my Judge Your Neighbor worksheet, and we did a facilitator client thing on that. And you can't believe those little annoyances, those little bitty things like that will keep you trapped in your own grievance, in your own situation of a belief of something that you have against your brother or your sister that's just going to have little things pile on top of it and pile on top of it. And pretty soon, I'm not seeing that got buried in the vault. And later on, I'm making a comment, a smart-ass comment to her about something that has nothing to do with what's happening based on that tiny little grievance that I had that was nothing. And it's so funny because, and it looks like Lisa just got here, so I'm going to call her up in a minute. But to kind of close this story a little bit, what's really funny is that when we did the client facilitator experience where we were uncovering the annoyance, I find out that Lisa didn't move the scale back where it didn't belong. She was actually putting it back because she thought I liked things nice and tidy, and she wanted to put it back where it goes for me. So it had nothing to do with the annoyance was all totally my own belief. That would have been a little grain of sand, a little fester, a little pebble that would have continued on until who knows what. So you never realize how important it is to notice what you're noticing, these small little annoyances. Bring them into that quiet place in the morning or in the evening. When you get quiet, you're in that abiding place. bring it into the light and just forgive it. Just allow it to come into the light that you are. Because as you know your identity in God, as you know your identity as light, you can bring any of your grievances, any of your annoyances, any tiny or huge upset into that experience of being. And that is the altar of truth. The altar of truth. It will be completely resolved in that experience of bringing it into the light. And if you want to see the workbook lessons that are related to this, that will point you directly to this truth, it's Workbook Lesson 79 and Workbook Lesson 80. Let me recognize my problems so they can be solved, or my problems so it can be solved. And then 80 is let me recognize my problems have been solved. And they're solved in the recognition of the problem from the place of what you are in truth, that experience of the self that we experienced a few minutes ago in meditation. So I'm not going to take time to ask if there's any questions because Lisa's Natoli is here. I accidentally took her car keys with me this morning, so she ended up, Al brought her down. Thank you, Al, for picking Lisa up. And thank you all for joining us this morning. Would everyone please give a warm welcome to Lisa Natoli? I'll go get it. Yeah. You want this mic? Yeah.
Good morning. How are you? So welcome everybody, and so good to be here. And today we're going to talk about healing your addiction to finding fault with others. And I love A Course in Miracles. I love the immediacy of it. And I even love what happened this morning with Bill taking my car keys, because I always put my car keys in the same place because I don't like to lose them. I like to just find them real fast, and I couldn't find them. And for like 40 minutes, I know what time I'm supposed to be here. I want to be here a little early. 40 minutes, I'm looking everywhere like a crazy person. And they're nowhere. And I must have put them somewhere. So I'm digging through my closet and clothes and then I had to tell Bill I can't find my keys. And he's like, "Oh, that's because I have them." But healing your addiction to finding fault with others. So even in a situation like that, where he definitely took my car keys, I still don't find fault with him. Because the mind, when you train it to think miraculously, it stays in wonder and curiosity. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to be late. That's okay. I know you guys will all be fine. I checked in with Linda. So the mind, instead of finding fault, it goes to, okay, plan B. Because when you live in this way, you know that you're moving. When you say yes to transformation, you can be sure your life is going to change. It just is. And we're so stuck in our routines. And we think, okay, I know how I get to the course group. I drive a car. I know what my car looks like. I have a routine. But when you say yes to being available to just be the light, and you go where God would have you go, you don't know what's going to happen next. And so there's a space where you can go, am I available for that? So my mind is like, and it was frantic. Like I definitely, and I'm just noticing. And I was like, okay, plan B. How do I get there? And Bill was going to come drive back up. We live in Elliott, Maine. So it's like 30 or 40 minute drive and then come back. So I said, there's no time. It'll be noontime already. So I'm like, okay, plan B, Linda. So I call Linda and we're going to go down to Marlborough, Mass. I don't know if she told you, but there's the New England's largest health fair this weekend. So I said, Linda, can you come pick me up? She says, my car is totally full with stuff for the weekend. I said, there's not even room for one more for me, for a body. She goes, there really isn't. So I'm like, okay, plan C. And then I'm like, Al's the one. And my mind was really going like, how awesome. I've been wanting to hang out with Al. And then he comes with Suzanne, and he told me about Suzanne, and I had wanted to hang out with her also. And so this is what happens when you really step into this place where you're staying in a complete state of wonder and curiosity. So even when things go wrong, you're training your mind to notice how you feel, how you're reacting, how you're thinking. So it's very practical. It's a very practical way. And I use the workbook lessons. So I teach A Course in Miracles because that's been my path. I love the immediacy of it. And what I wanted to illustrate for you this morning, and I always love to hear from you. And also, I just wanted to say one more thing is I don't know if this was mentioned before I got here, but this is live stream. So hi, you guys out there. It means it's being broadcast right now. So if you don't want to be on a camera, please don't talk while this is going on. And we put chairs in the back also. So the camera does move when you can talk to the camera people. You can just let them know I prefer not to be. Well, I don't need to call anybody out, but if you, I don't know, but you just can, if you don't want to be on the camera, just let the camera person know. You can sit in one of the back chairs. People sit back there. So, so I just wanted to mention that it is live stream. And so let's see, I have a pen. So you guys know I always make these little illustrations. And the way I like to think is in terms of energy fields. So you are, how do I say it? Most people are not conscious of their thoughts, their feelings, their beliefs, their emotions. And most people, before they come into a path of transformation, believe that there are other people doing things and that those others are separate from you. So A Course in Miracles very simply states that the people you think you see are in your mind. They are reflecting to you your own thoughts and beliefs. And the way I love to teach it is as direct experience. You don't have to believe me, but keep an open mind going forward to everyone you meet to go, wow, could it be that you're not out there? Could it be that you are in my mind and I put you there? And so it's like the mind, again, goes into a space of wonder and curiosity. And even when someone's yelling at you, you're in a practice now of pausing, stepping back, being still, being like, okay, someone's telling me I'm an idiot. Yes, I sometimes believe that way about myself. So it gets reflected. Someone's telling me you're irresponsible. So instead of finding fault with you saying I'm irresponsible, the mind it's trained, it's just really going, okay, yeah, I guess, yeah, that's a belief, that's a thought. So now you get to show up in a whole new way to use the people in your life to show you hidden places in your own mind. And what I love about A Course in Miracles is that, to me, and I know so many beautiful Course teachers probably express it in a different way, think about it in a different way. But the way it is for me is that's the first phase. I see A Course in Miracles as two phases. There is the undoing of your thought system of fear, where you're using the people in your life, recognizing this is my reflection of myself. This is my attack thought of myself. So that's sort of the first phase. So you're no longer attacking And you're using your brother to really go, oh, wow, that's me. But if you notice, if you've been in A Course in Miracles for any amount of time and around Course people, a lot of people use other people attacking to attack themselves. Does that make sense? Like when you see somebody who's angry, you go, oh, I'm angry. And it's like you make yourself guilty for what you see out there. And Jesus is saying, don't do that. Like we're releasing guilt. But what happens when you just allow yourself to go through a clearing, what Jesus calls a purification and an integration, where you're acknowledging the light that you are, and the light of Christ is integrating now, suddenly you are not looking at others as your own projection. You are now the pure reflection of the love of God. So, does that make sense? So you're not playing that mirror game anymore. It's still you, but you don't see anymore the things you used to see because they've been dissolved in the purification. So and if this doesn't make any sense, just raise your hand so I'll clarify it. But that complete identification has occurred, and all I see now is the light that you are, because I only see the light that I am. So even if you are in a rage and you are saying stuff about me, and even whenever someone says stuff about me, I absolutely take it in, because this is my brother and I want to hear what's being said to me. But at the same time, I'm looking right past the appearance, joining with you. Does this all make sense? So, healing your addiction to finding fault with others. So often we think of addiction as alcohol and sex and shopping and cigarettes but I want us to think about our addictions are the things that are keeping us limited and trapped in a body identity. So finding fault with others is a huge addiction, and it just happens. Right now, I'm sure there's some of you who are finding fault with me right now. And that's just normal. It's just what happens. I'm not teaching it right, or I didn't say a prayer to start, or you don't like my sweater, or like whatever it is, you are now training your mind to catch when you're doing it. Because what it does, so, I always make this little drawing. So this is you, the light that you are, at the center of who you are. There's a light in you. It cannot die. It's always there. But it's hidden by all of your layers of your beliefs, things that we learned as children to protect ourselves here in this world, to be safe. People pleasing, working hard, making money, being good. So we have all of these layers that go on to the light that you are, and the light starts to it doesn't go away, but it starts to hide. And so you've got like this is like the first layer. I actually made this illustration in my notebook the other day, and then I wrote this. It was like Jesus says, this is not it. And then I was like, okay, this is not it. Because the first layer I did was the physical. And then I made another one. And then Jesus says, this is the one. So, and then we're going to do a meditation. We're going to go to, I feel the love of God within me now. So it's like you have a layer, and this one is feelings. These are like high moving frequency feelings, like love and gratitude. Actually, love is here. And then you've got joy, appreciation. This is feelings. And these are the fast moving ones: gratitude, appreciation, joy. Then you've got another layer of feelings, which is slower moving ones, And these ones are anger, overwhelm, grief, sadness, sorrow, anxiety. You start moving from a high moving frequency, which is just light, and you start slowing it down. Start slowing down a little. I'm sorry. And so none of this is bad, and it's not true in reality, but I'm giving you a visual as a way to think about it when you go through your day. So then you've got this one is the physical. And in the physical is all matter. It's other people. And where most people live is somewhere here. Right? We live in our thoughts. So this is, actually, physical. There's actually one, this is what I drew here. There's actually another one before the physical, which is thoughts. And this could be totally wrong also, but this is how my mind sees it. So what we mostly do is we live either in a feeling of joy or gratitude, but even that is not who you really are. That gets you very, very close. And Jesus says when you get that close, God takes the final step. And then you simply are living as source, as the light that you are. And then, so that's that one. But then you move to the next feeling, which is sadness. The more you move away from your center, the worse you feel, the denser you feel as you move into matter. And so now you start feeling anxiety and grief and sadness and competition and jealousy. And then it's like you're in the thought, that person shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that. And so now it's all mental. It's all intellectual. And then there's the physical. So then you start using the body's eyes to judge where you think you are and where others are. And this is where the body is, your body. Your body is outside of who you really are. And so when you are finding fault with others, where are you? You're either in thinking about them, you're actually interacting with them, you're feeling a certain way about them. So you're not here, right? Because when you're here, there's no finding fault. There's only joining and love and oneness here. You're just in a state of total acceptance, of just gratitude. And so what Jesus is giving us in the workbook lessons and in these ideas from A Course in Miracles is a way to become aware of what you have previously been unaware of. Like you actually see what you're doing and you get faster and faster at it, where you no longer keep projecting out onto other people. And so one of the best ways I know is just to catch yourself. And I see it like energy. You keep moving the energy out. So when I am blaming, let's say Bill takes my keys and now he's made me late. He's made me late and now it's all his fault. And so I am now way off my center, right? I've completely lost my peace. I'm out of joy. I have forgotten who I am. And the more that you hang out over, and that's my energy and my focus has now gone to the future. It's gone to the past. It's nowhere. I'm literally nowhere. But when you train your mind to watch what the energy is doing, and I actually, while I was looking for my keys, did lose my center. I was all over that house. I was going through all my jackets. I'm like, what did I wear yesterday? I thought maybe I accidentally threw it into a grocery bag, and I'm going through the groceries bags. My mind starts thinking, oh my God, I'm going to be late. And so you get the beautiful part I love about A Course in Miracles is you get to see everything that was buried in you as a personality and an identity. So for me, people pleasing. I love being on time and being early. Okay, that's not part of the light. The light does not care about being on time, right? And so, but Lisa, the personality does. So I got to see, oh yeah, wow, I really want to show up but then I let that go. I said, no, I'm here only for God's plan for salvation. And then when Bill's like, oh, I know where your keys are. I have them. Well, you can relax now. I'm like, okay, great. So I went and had a smoothie. I sat down on the couch. The cats came over. I'm like, Al's on his way. I'm like, yeah, fantastic. It's like your whole attitude changes. And so what my experience is that when you live here, like you live off your center and your energy is out in the external world and the body is part of the external world. So when you're thinking about your pain, your problems, you are living in what Jesus calls the past. You are not present. And my belief is that the more consistently that you do that, the more you start to experience problems and sickness because your energy is just flying all over the place. And so at some point you recognize, oh my God, I've been way over here and I'm not going to do this anymore. And you become a master. This is mastery. Jesus is a master teacher, and he is training us to be masters like him. He says, you are just like me. You don't have anything I don't have. And so he's training us to catch the energy when our focus and attention has been here and turn it around. Go home. So he says I don't think this is in the blue book, but it's in the original manuscript and it's in the new Circle of Atonement edition. He says, the thing to do about a desert is to leave. So he says when you're in a desert, there's no water. You're in a space of just dry sand and no hope. But what we do as human beings in the desert is we try to make it work there, right? We're in the desert when we got our problems and our difficulties, and we're like, I can make this happen. No, the thing to do in a desert is to leave. And so that is going to kill your ego because your ego wants you to make it happen. But at a certain point, you recognize, okay, this is really not working. And so you catch yourself when you're either thinking, and there's nothing wrong with any of this. I just want to say that. It's just that you're training your mind to see when you feel bad. You all know when you feel bad, right? Would someone like to share what you do when you feel bad? Anybody? Irene?
I love how you set this up. Because I explain this stuff all the time to people, and I love how you did this. It's a great diagram. There's two words that I just want to add to the conversation. One is familiar. We love to go to what's familiar. We have a sense that that's safety, and that's where we go all the time. So that's why we want to hang out in the desert, because we know how to be in the desert. So safety, so familiar gives us the illusion that we're safe. The other thing that goes on is the whole anxiety thing. The way I describe it, and I love this circle, I'm so going to copy it, is that the energy of our truth starts to surface when we're standing in transformation, and the ego is going, oh no, not going there, oh no, not going there, because it looks like unknown. It doesn't look familiar. Right? And so that's described as anxiety. And the world has 35,000 drugs you can take for that, because now you have a symptom that you need to cover up, because we're getting shaken. We're getting shaken because it's starting to crack through. And it's so valuable. It's so valuable. And I know that for me, I'm at that place lots of times where I have enough awareness that I realize part of what's familiar for me with that physical is the self-righteousness of being right. That goes with that too. And so my judgment is, let me show you all the ways I'm right and you're wrong. Because I'm an oldest child. I really, really like being right. I got good SAT scores. So, I got a lot of validation for that. And there's this illusion like somehow I'm going to grab on to the facts and you're now going to see my facts. So I'll hang out there. I'm having less and less comfortableness with that. Like what happens is I can only handle my own BS for just so long, and it's like, oh my God, because there's so much discomfort in it now. It no longer fits. This old way of being just doesn't fit anymore. So transformation is this path over a bridge of uncomfortableness as you get back to the comfort of who you are. I just want to add one other thing to that quickly, and that is when David was having open heart surgery and I was sitting in the chapel, this little tiny chapel at the hospital, and there was like about an hour, because it's like it was a 7-hour deal and it was a big, huge deal, right? So there was about this hour. I could not remember one thing he ever did wrong. And while I was thinking, I realized that I was at a truth for about an hour. I was at a truth that was so, so different. I mean, I cracked myself up in there and I thought, I know there have been things that he has done wrong, right? But I couldn't find it because I was in this place of truth. His life was so important to me. His being was so valuable to me that all the blah, blah went right down the tubes.
That's actually what happens. So the light, we are literally working with the power and the presence of God. And I want to just thank you for that, Irene, because when you do that, you literally start dissolving the thought, the feeling, the physical, the memory, the past. You can't remember anything. What time is that clock, right? Okay. 5 minutes. What? What'd you say? I said it's Bill's fault. Oh, no, it's not. And do you guys want to go till 12? I don't know if we can. Okay, because I really want to do this meditation. So what happens is you take mastery now of the energy. You say, no, the energy is no longer in the driver's seat. No longer. The thought is no longer in the driver's seat. The I now am learning how to master the energy and bring it back. And we have it with the mind training, the workbook lessons. We have it with stillness. And it literally starts dissolving your world. It does. And what happens, we were having this great conversation in the car, is I'm so grateful that you took my keys. Thank you. Because I would never have had that opportunity, right? And so we were talking about how when you say, yes, I want to know who I am, I want to know the truth of my identity, then, and you are committed to doing the work, no more blaming other people, watching for your judgments, watching for your grievances, the world you think exists will shift. Sorry. It just will. And people will start to call you names sometimes. You might lose a job, you might lose a relationship, the pain might actually start to get worse. Maybe you had no pain before. The fear, maybe you never felt that fearful. It's because you developed devices, protective devices as a child and through your lifetime to keep the fear under control, manageable, so that you were like, I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay. But when you say, I am ready to dismantle that thought system, all the fear that you buried is now going to come to the surface. And when it comes out of its hiding place and you are no longer controlling it anymore, it is going to show up as a projection for a moment, because it has to. That's just the law. And so this is why Jesus tells us the first characteristic of a teacher of God is trust. You are going to need trust for this process. And you get to determine the speed by which it happens. So thank you for, Irene, what you said about the familiar and the unknown. We don't know what will happen if we let go of our control. We're so used to controlling that we can't imagine what it will be like if we just let everyone be the way they are without telling them they have to be different. They'll never change, right? But when you say, I really want to see what is hidden in me and heal it and forgive it, then you, for a moment, it just might be like, okay, I feel worse than ever. But you keep calling the energy back. And this is why Jesus introduces intervals of time during the day to stop. Stop what you're doing and rest and relax and be still. And I'm just going to do a quick meditation with you from lesson 189, because what happens is when you call all the energy out of all of your stories, like I'm not going there, I'm not, and you get to name the people. You get to think about all the people you're finding fault with. And when you go today, be really alert for when you are with someone and you start to notice, oh, they shouldn't have done that. Just watch. It's a total addiction. We are totally addicted to living outside of ourselves. And so all you're doing is being a master. You know, I love Carlos Castaneda, and he talks about energy fields and energy blocks and energy leaks. And what Carlos Castaneda says, same thing, is you leak your energy, and now you live over here. And when you live over here, this is what your world actually looks like. So now, this is all you see. You are completely disconnected from your source. And now you have peopled your world from the location you're living in, which is fear. That's insane, right? So now you really go, okay, I don't want to do that anymore. And you stop. And Jesus says in A Course in Miracles, now you change direction. You've been going this way, deeper and deeper into the darkness. And at some point, the prodigal son story, you wandered away from your father's house, you've squandered away your inheritance, and there's now time to go home. And you come home, and it's all there. It's all there for you now. And once you're here, I just love the Course so much, is now that is energy for you to use. Think about the amount of energy it takes to sequence time and space. Think about it. You think it's not a big deal, but think about how much energy it takes you to remember the past. That's an enormous amount of energy. And how much energy it takes to plan. And so now you can say, oh, no wonder I've been sick. No wonder I feel tired. All my energy has been used to maintain a world that I don't even like. And so now you can say, this is my new beginning. Jesus says every moment is our new beginning. And so I also did a 1-hour radio show today on Unity Online Radio, this exact same topic, and I did the whole lesson. So if you want to continue, if you like what I'm saying, it's at 3 o'clock today, and healing your addiction to finding fault with others. And so I just want you all to just close your eyes. We're just gonna do a little meditation. I want you to recognize your mastery. I want you to recognize the power and the presence that you have to call your attention to your heart area. I want you to just let go of everything, every story, every grievance. And I want you to know that the peace of God is shining in you now. This light cannot be lost. Why wait to find it in the future or believe it has been lost already or was never there? It can so easily be looked upon that arguments which prove it is not there become ridiculous. Who can deny the presence of what he beholds in him? It is not difficult to look within, for here all vision starts. There is no sight, be it of dreams or from a truer source, that is but a shadow of that seen through inward vision. The peace of God is shining in you now, and from your heart extends around the world. I want you to really feel that. Not think about it, I want you to feel it. Focus on your heart. And even if you don't feel it, it's okay. It's shining. The peace of God is shining in you now. You don't have to do anything. It's already shining. And now let it flow. Let it extend through your heart out around the world. It knows what to do. The light knows exactly what to do. It doesn't need your help. What it does need is your stillness. It needs you to be focused on the light. So now we are co-creators, and now we are working with the presence and the power. This is an intelligence. This is what you are. This is the same energy that you have been using to find fault with others. And now you are using it to heal. You are using it to bless. You are using it to uplift. You are using it in the way it was intended and given to you in your creation. This love is the love of God, and it is yours. It was given to you when you came here. The light is in you now. Enlightenment is but a recognition, not a change at all. Light is not of the world, yet you who bear the light in you are alien here as well. The light came with you from your native home and stays with you because it is your own. It is the only thing you bring with you from Him who is your source. It shines in you because it lit your home and leads you back to where it came from, and you are at home. This light brings renewal to all tired hearts and lights all vision as it passes by. The shining in your mind, so now it's in your mind. The light is in your heart. It is in your mind. It reminds the world of what it has forgotten, and the world restores the memory to you as well. I feel the love of God within me now. There is a light in you the world cannot perceive, and with its eyes you will not see this light, for you are blinded by the world, yet you have eyes to see it. I want you to see it now. See this light within. It is here for you to look upon. It was not placed in you to be kept hidden from your sight. This light is a reflection of the thought we practice now. I feel the love of God within me now. To feel the love of God within you is to see the world anew, shining in innocence, alive with hope, and blessed with perfect charity and love. Who could feel fear in such a world as this? It welcomes you, rejoices that you came, sings your praises as it keeps you safe from every form of danger and of pain. It offers you a warm and gentle home in which to stay a while. It blesses you throughout the day and watches through the night as silent guardian of your holy sleep. It sees salvation in you and protects the light in you, in which it sees its own. It offers you its flowers and its snow in thankfulness for your benevolence. I'm going to end with a prayer. Today, we do not choose the way in which we go to Him, but we do choose to let Him come. And Him is the light. Him is the presence and the power and the peace and the grace and the love of God that you are. Today, we let it come. And with this choice, we rest. This is your day. And in our quiet hearts and open minds, His love will blaze its pathway of itself. What has not been denied is surely there if it be true, and can be surely reached. God knows His Son and knows the way to Him. He does not need His Son, you, to show Him how to find His way. Through every open door, His love shines outward from its home within and lightens up the world in innocence. And so we pray, Father, we do not know the way to you, but we have called and you have answered us. We will not interfere. Salvation's ways are not our own, for they belong to you, and it is unto you we look for them. Our hands are open to receive your gifts. I want you to see that. Your hands are open to receive His gifts. We have no thoughts we think apart from you, and cherish no beliefs of what we are or who created us. Yours is the way that we would find and follow. And we ask but that your will, which is our own as well, be done in us and in the world, that it become a part of heaven now. Amen. So thank you guys. And, I just want so much gratitude that we're here together. Yael and I and Suzanne were talking on the car, like, how did we land in this place where we've met each other? Like, to find our mighty companions like this, and to be in a space where we can just relax and rest and join. And what Jesus tells us is that every 5 minutes of joining, 1,000 minds are healed and 1,000 years are saved. So we don't come here to learn anything, but it's like a trick. Like we all got tricked. Like we came here just for joining. So that's all that happened here today. We all joined in this one mind with one purpose, to remember our identity. And in this, it ripples out through every mind. And God's will is accomplished. I love you. Thank you. So, and if we can all join in a closing prayer in a circle.
Sure.
And if anyone would like to support this space, we really appreciate it. And there's a box over there in the corner. And anyone online, if you would like to give a donation, we really do appreciate it. It allows us to do all that we're doing, the live stream, all the different programs that we do. There's a donation button. And we bless the tithes and offerings with the unity prayer, divine love, as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
Oh, sweet Jesus, how grateful we are that your light is shining on this path, bringing all of us together in so many awarenesses that we are one with you. We thank you. Amen.
Thank you, guys. Love you, live streamers. Woo!